Folks, welcome back to Mojitsu. If you are new to this channel, my name is Mojo Perry, and Mojitsu is an extension of my personal diary and other creative small ideas that I do just for fun. I'm not much of a social media guy, so I don't play to social media. I don't work towards social media. I just kind of throw things up now and again, and people seem to follow, and that's it. Now, for those of you who know me and have been following my story, I have some news that's not so good to share. Back in December of 2024, I had gotten out of a really bad 2-year situation with a narcissist. She was terrible. She ran around behind my back, sleeping with people, screaming at me, accusing me of doing that, screaming and yelling all the time. Anytime she felt like she wasn't getting enough attention, she would throw a tantrum, and she would escalate things for days and days, and lied, said she was raped, had her throat cut, and left for dead, which is why has CPTSD and has all these outbursts and things like that. That turned out to be a lie. Of course, every single boyfriend abused her and cheated on her, and it turned to be the other way around. She was the one that was abusing and cheating. All of her ex-husbands, abused her and cheated on her, and turned to be the other way around. And she turned out to be one of these really, truly nasty, disgusting cum dumpsters, and the town pump, I'm guessing. But that's just what my opinion is after what I've learned. Now, that's not for anyone to decide, but it was a bad situation. And then about 6 weeks after that, I wound up in the hospital. My cortisol level was so high from being on fight or flight mode for 2 years, which is common in abuse situations, that my blood sugar just skyrocketed big time. Well, that situation caused some other things to occur, like to go over the edge. And about another 3 weeks, maybe after that, 2 weeks after that, I started to have really intense pain in my stomach. I thought it was digestion because I was still really stressed out from the narcissist and things like that. And my doctor didn't really take things seriously. In my opinion, I think that I feel that he has always had a narrow mind towards addiction, a very uneducated stand on it, and has developed a position on it that he projected onto me. I think he thought I was just trying to get pain pills. And anytime I tried to address something that would involve a narcotic, like I know I have ADD, I wanted to get tested for it. And I was told that they don't see adults anymore, which was a lie. Yeah, I believe he thought I just wanted to get an Adderall. So it goes to show what he knows, because he was not there through any of my recovery. He didn't help. I didn't ask him for any help. He didn't do anything to help me one way or the other. And he's certainly not going to protect me from myself or anything else. My recovery is my responsibility. However, this poses a problem because I am in serious pain. So I had to go through a bunch of hoops to where he finally prescribed, a little bit, it was a very weak one, I might add, but a proper painkiller. And did it help? Wave 1 turned out to be a bust, for sure. Like it's not doing the job, but it does curb it enough to where I am able to be in at least better spirits. And it's, but it's still very bad. Don't get me wrong. In fact, it's hurting really bad right now. And so eventually my doctor called for a CT scan. And it's modern technology. It's amazing because I went in on a morning. The prep time took more time than the actual scan itself, because I had to drink these 2 large glasses of special, they call it contrast. And then they put an IV in your arm when you go in the scan, and that combines with what you drank so you can get a proper of your stomach and your veins and everything else. Well, I got my test results before I heard from my doctor, which, later that very same day. And the notification came in on my phone. We have this thing here called My Chart, where you can see and look up your test results and make appointments, email your doctor, ask for refills, everything. It's really convenient. And you can even have a video visit instead of going to urgent care if you need to, right? And so I read it, and I was disturbed by what I read. Now, my roommate is Spock, like no joke, very much like Spock, although it has emotions for sure, but she's a scientist. Her mom is a scientist, and these folks dig deep and they understand what I don't. And so I have had a constant influx of information regarding my situation. And what is my situation? They found a very large mass at the head of my pancreas, and it appears to have already metastasized, which means that it's more than likely pancreatic cancer. Now, a lot of people think that's the kiss of death, including me, but right now I'm still in the dark. On the 18th, which was just 9 days away, today's the 9th, they're going to do a kind of dangerous biopsy where I will be sedated. They will go in through my throat, all the way down into my stomach, through my intestines, all the way down to my pancreas, and then they will go in and they will take a tissue sample. Now, that proves to be problematic because I can actually spread the cancer doing that. That can also create a bigger discomfort. It can, it's not without its, threats for sure. And, I could possibly check out during the procedure, as anybody could for that matter. So, but from there, what that will do, that will tell us if I need to go a cancer treatment route, or even if that's an option, or if I'm going to have to do another thing because it's non-cancerous and it still has to be dealt with. But that's the thing. The situation is bad. It has to be dealt with no matter what. So I will try to put some diagrams up here. Let me move over so I can make some room. Right over here for you, that will demonstrate what's going on. So this is what happened. Right where the gallbladder and the pancreas meet, they both have bile, not vial, but bile ducts. That's with the B. And it merges right at that center where that mass is for me. And that bile goes into your intestines and other places, and that's what helps break down food and digest food. And, and my mass is so big that it's blocking that. And because of which I'm having constant pain, and it's just horrible. And so I will try to put a diagram so you guys can kind of see what it is. And how big is that mass? It is about the size of a nickel from what I can determine. He kind of did this thing where it goes like that, so not too big. Well, I don't know. I think if I had that sitting right here on my arm, that would be freaking big to me. So, what does this mean for Mojo Perry going forward? That's a good question. I got the news Wednesday. My doctor tried to call me Tuesday night after he saw the results, and I missed all the calls. I had a gal pal over, and I was trying to make sure she got my undivided attention because she's a hottie and deserves it. And, but Wednesday morning, he called 2 times. Then on the 3rd time, he called me. He was nice about it. He was sterile in his compassion. And he did say, "I'm sorry, Mojo. Nobody wants to get news like this." And I got off the phone, and I didn't know what to think. I mean, I was told that, I have a 90% positive chance that what I have is cancerous because it already appears to have metastasized, which means it's spread, indicating a disease. And that it's at the head of my pancreas. All of that is just bad news, man. Bad news. So that biopsy on the 18th is really important because that will tell us everything we need to do moving forward. And right now, what my number one goal is pain management. And so I had to go off my maintenance drug from 26 years of addiction. And I am on opiates again. That's how bad the pain is. So how did I take the news? Well, for 2 days, I did do some crying because, I'm going to miss Zumi, my cat. I will definitely miss Julie, my roommate, best family, best sister I have ever had, hands down. Best person I've had in my life ever. She helped save my life. She sacrificed so that I could survive. She cared for me. She loved me. She helped me along. And she did all these things, not because we were dating, but because she is a good person. And I needed the help at the time. And so now as roommates, and friends, she has proven to be ultra powerful. I am not in the dark. I understand every medical term that has been told to me. I understand exactly what's happening to me, where it's at, what it looks like, and what could possibly happen because I have Spock. I have a scientist who has handed me information almost daily. And lots of it. So I'm not in the dark. So I know what to expect should things go south. I know what to expect in treatment. I know what to expect moving forward. Now, that would make anybody cry, right? Then, I cried because I was going to miss a lot of my friends. Then, I definitely cried when I had to make the decision to go to opiates. Because I fought for that higher ground, folks. That was not fucking easy. And Julie helped me to understand that that's what those are made for. And that this time I'm taking them because I need them and not because I'm just getting high. And that buzz should come. I tell you, it would be welcome. I don't feel anything because I was on a blocker for, 10 years. So it's going to be a while before any of that happens. But it doesn't mean that the effect won't help. At least I don't know. Don't ask me on all that stuff. But that's my theory, so to speak. So for 2 days, I felt bad, and you can tell that I need to shave, right? That's because I was in a lot of pain and I was just laying around and so forth. And then I want to say on the third day, I woke up because nearly 1,000 people reached out to me on social media. The only thing that I really attend to is Facebook, and I don't Instagram hardly or Twitter or anything, TikTok even. YouTube, I do a little bit where we're at, and that's about it. But on Facebook, it was nearly 1,000 people. I'm still trying to answer emails from back when I went in the hospital in January. So, and everybody was positive. and many of my famous friends who were just associates in my head, like I realized just how much I had impacted their life by what the things that they said to me. And so many people are in my corner, and rooting for me and wishing me well. And so really, I'm in a good place. I've got my roommate. I got information coming in. I have not one, but I have two really good doctors. Like my addiction doctor is going to stay in my corner, and he's going to make sure that I'm handled properly, and that any stigmas of addiction that a narrow mind would have, or an uneducated person would have, isn't going to get in the way of my comfort as I face this, especially if I'm going to be checking out, right? Like I will not tolerate his bullshit. He can go fuck himself, my family doctor. Now, he's a good man, and I don't hate him by any stretch. I just have had experiences with him that have indicated to me that he's just very narrow-minded and judgmental, and closed-minded, for that matter, to even have discussions on important things. But the thing is, Mojo is here. I shared my recovery with you guys, right? I was very open. I shared everything. I'm still doing that, right? So this is now an opportunity for me to help someone else learn, what to do in this situation. Like, he'll be a doctor for a long time. I probably won't be his only, addict, cancer patient, right? So this is a chance for both of us to learn. I get to learn patience and controlling my anger towards something, right? I get to learn lots of difficult things, and he gets to learn some things too. And hopefully it will work out to where my comfort level is not bad. And so I'm going to vlog, and I'm going to share everything that is going on, like every step of the way, you name it. Like if I'm having a good day, I'm going to show you. If I'm having a bad day, I'm going to show you. The prognoses, the diagnoses, the treatments, I'm going to show you. I'm going to let you know what's going on with me. I'm going to continue to create. In fact, one of the bummer things was the day before I got the news, I just bought a new camera, a Sony R50, a really decent camera. I mean, this is being shot on a Sony A6400, which is a really awesome camera. This is extremely comparable to it, if not slightly better. But I prefer Sony myself. But I couldn't afford the extra $300 to get it. And I even got this little bad boy. It's a small pocket ZV F1 or 1F. Nice little pocket Jimmy that shoots in 4K and has stability and all the other stuff. And, both of those are made for doing the type of work that I do, which is why I got them. So until the fat narcissist sings, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to share everything. I'm going to date. I'm going to do the things that I want to do with the people I want to do them with. I'm going to write music. I'm going to use my gifts and my talents. And I'm going to try to leave a good example of who Mojo Perry is. And luckily, I don't have a lot to be sad about. I mean, I want to be honest. Like I do expect bad news on after the 18th. I know what I did to myself for 26 years. Yeah. A lot of drugs, folks. And I had fun. I did. There were girls. There was money. I was recording and releasing music. I was traveling. I had adoration from fans and people. I got hugs on nearly a daily basis for most of that time. And, I grew in my playing as an artist. I grew as an artist. I grew as a person. And then when it came down to the nitty gritty, I had the courage and the strength to clean my ass up, and I did it. My mom got to see me clean and sober, and I stayed that way. I got to have a happy 10, 11 years, even with that narcissist piece of shit. Fuck her. You're that miserable. You got to hurt people so you can get some type of attention or whatever. It was my fault because I didn't have proper boundaries, but I grew up in an environment like that. So for me, I was just kind of trapped. And, the real shame is the teacher and the Christian guy, but you'll see what they did on video. I'm going to show you. And so ultimately, I don't have any complaints. I lived my life. I got to live a piece of a rock star lifestyle. Now, I wasn't a big name by any stretch, but I had my own little thing going, and it was moving, and I still have fans. They wished me well. I'm blown away by the response I've gotten publicly of support, and all of it helped me to rise up and have this position that I'm going to do today. And you're going to witness the biggest comeback of my life, even if I die, right? And it's all bad and I suffer and I go through all this shit. It's still going to be my comeback because I'm not going to let it defeat me or my spirit. I'm not going to let it defeat my mind. I'm not going to let it defeat any of the things that I've accomplished in my life. I get to leave my mark, folks. How cool is that? I did more with my life than just have a home that I paid for, a vehicle that I own, college and all that other stuff. I took a very hard road and I pursued the arts and I made a name for myself in the process. And so when I die, there's 120 some odd songs and I've got time to release a whole lot more. So people, you guys, strangers for decades to come will find me. And even way down the road, I can still be discovered and have revitalization. And I have a curator for my music estate. I have a curator for all my gear. I have decisions that I've made, like I want certain guitars to go to certain people because I love them and I want them to have this special thing of mine. I have a Les Paul that I bought, in relation to my mother, something with my recovery. I wanted to make it right. So I bought a Les Paul. And that is extremely valuable and extremely gorgeous. I have a decision where that's going to go. My copyrights, all my licensing, everything that I do to make money. I have people in place today that will handle that should something happen to me on the 18th. And they will remain in place until this is over, whatever that may be. And folks, I don't want you to feel bad for Mojo. I don't want you to feel bad for me because there's no reason to. This is bad news for sure. But there's a lot of silver linings. Like I get to make things good with people if I need to. I don't really have anybody. I get to tell people that I love them, make sure that they know. I get to create music. I get to do more of this vlog. I get to do a lot of things knowing that it matters because there's a clock ticking. And that's a gift. Hands down, that is a gift. Most people just die and, they don't get the opportunity to leave something behind. Like children eventually stop talking about their parents and grandkids forget about their grandparents. And usually it only takes just a few months for people to just move on. And to have music and art left behind that people just look at and listen to when you're, online and stuff like that. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. So I'm going to drop out of this notification here, and I want to get busy on episode 1, and so that you have something that's more fun to follow on this. Okay. And thank you for hearing me and being here. If you want to stay notified and in the loop, subscribe, like, please comment, and share this video, with people that you think could benefit from this. You have a friend in your life that is wasting their life. They're not doing anything with it. Maybe you have a narcissist of your own that caused you all kinds of problems and, stupid flying monkeys that can't think for themselves, right? Maybe you have all that. They have all that. Maybe your friend has all that, your family, maybe whatever it is. But the information I will provide will help with that. And maybe you have people who are just doing zero, or they're sick themselves and they're not adjusting well, or, they're facing bad things and they're not adjusting well. These videos will help. I promise you, because there's nothing I'm going to allow to defeat me. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have bad days. I did cry over after I got the news, because there was people that I know that I'm going to really miss. Just genuinely, I'm going to miss that. I just have never thought that these people would not be there, but luckily they're going to be there the rest of my life, however long it may be. And that's a blessing. It's all a blessing. And it's bad news for sure, but I'm grateful. The universe is in control. God will either fix me or he'll call me home. So who am I to argue with the big guy and the situation? It's bigger than me right now, so the only thing that I can really do is be positive and make the best of what I have going. So I hope that you guys join me in all this. I am a new camera here because I want to have B-roll other than just this one-on-one stuff. I want you to have different angles and stuff, which is why I did all this. So please have my love with you wherever you go, and I will see you on episode 1. Bye.